Hey, and welcome back.
Yes, yes. Andre Glenn,
Richard F. Moreno.
and today's topic we're going to talk about something that people really need to focus on is
Definitely.
ammo selection. Now, we got a couple 9mm here, and I want people to really focus on, are all 9mm the same?
No, they're not.
Weight, caliber, powder, do they all have the same muzzle velocity? You know, things to think about. What does all the writing on the box mean? Do you know? Or are you just saying, give me some 9mm and let me try it out? What does P plus mean?
Plus P, yeah, plus P plus.
Yeah.
What is that?
Why I gotta have all them P's in there? What does that mean?
With the plus signs, what is that?
So,
This one has it. No, this
yeah.
one has it. But see, that's the thing. What is it?
So when people look at the box and they want to buy ammo, just because it says 9mm, what weight of the bullet you want to fire? Is it 115?
127?
127?
Or like this one. This is 147.
That's one. Matter of fact, no, this is 150.
It is 150.
Yeah, it's 150.
That's even, wow.
And it used to be 147 was the heaviest grain bullet in a 9mm. These are 150 grain. So things of that nature. What does that mean? That means how heavy is this bullet? That's what that means. Now, how hot is that round coming out? That's where you get the extra P's on there.
Right, exactly. The plus P and the plus P plus.
Now, is the firearm I'm firing this out of can handle that? That's a question. Don't come out here with no high points think you're gonna put some plus
No.
P's in there and think it's gonna do what it needs to do. We ain't doing that.
No, not at all.
So you gotta understand from the manufacturer standpoint, contact them. Feel free. It's your life on the line. What is this bullet gonna how is this bullet gonna affect my firearm? But more importantly, can I put this bullet in my firearm?
I mean, look at this. This is a 9mm hollow point.
Yeah.
This is a round. So if you talk about ball ammo and hollow point, but why is this hollow point shorter than
Yeah.
that?
And more importantly, because this hollow point is shorter and this one's taller, is it gonna feed right in the magazine? Am I gonna have jamming problems, feeding problems? There's things you need to think about. Because all these look like they're the same height, but each one is a different grain.
As a matter of fact,
You know,
this one's the tallest. This one's a little bit taller, but this one's the shortest, the hollow point.
and that has a traumatic effect on when it's hitting that lip of that
Yeah,
magazine.
when it's ramping up and it's
And
going
hitting
into the
that
pipe.
ramp.
Yeah.
You know, is it gonna feed in that ramp correctly? Look at the ramp on your barrel to see. If you have some of them you look at it and see if it have a big opening on that hollow point, you'll see that as soon as you put it in there, you'll see that it'll hit. It'll catch up on it. And so it's things that they don't just get something just because it looks good. Like this one. This one's a little bit more open. Way open than this one.
Mm-hmm.
So that ramp is so important when it comes off that magazine and feeds into that gun. Is it going to get stuck, or is it going to feed smoothly into the firearm? Those are things you need to think about. Anything else you want to add to that?
Yeah, well, I mean, to think about it, we were at the range recently where we were running some ammo, and it turned out to be really good training ammo, didn't it?
Oh yeah, because it forced you to do what? Tap rack 1,000,000 times.
Yeah, exactly. We weren't doing kai by bow. We were tap racking and getting back online. So that's the important part about it. You don't want to be doing that in the middle of a gunfight.
Exactly, and especially because the way ammo shortages is right now, you might buy some training ammo, and you may carry it.
Mm-hmm.
Your life's on the line. You don't want to be out here tap racking when the guy's on top of you.
No, you want to know how it's going to cycle, how it's going to operate, if it's going to run smoothly, or do you have any issues with it? And if you're running issues with it, I mean, it's great training ammo, but it's not good for your life.
Now, I want to touch on something, because if people look at the box, this says 9mm Luger. What does that mean?
Luger, and that's the type of ammo that it's actually made. So we have Parabellum, 9x19. Anybody that's running a Glock knows they're going to run 9x19.
Mm-hmm.
But the reality is, you got to keep in mind, what does that really mean?
Yeah.
Just like we're looking at here, this might be a NATO round, which is technically 9x19.
Mm-hmm.
And that hollow point looks like it might be a 9x19.
Yeah, think about that.
So that's what you have to look at, because you have 9x18. I think I believe there's about 28 different 9mm rounds on the market right now. I know a guy that was shooting 9mm or trying to shoot 9mm Makarov out of Browning high power.
Yeah,
And it was a 380.
Those Russian rounds is not gonna.
But it's a 380 actually. It's 9mm short or 380.
Cut down, yeah.
And then I saw another guy that was running 9mm Largo.
Yeah, and that's a bigger one.
Really, yeah. Even the casing's longer. I mean, the
Yeah.
casing's almost as long as the whole entire cartridge. But he had a 38 Super.
But it's one of those things. That's why I said, if you have any doubt about your firearm, folks, please, we beg, call the manufacturer. Say, hey, I want to think about putting this ammo in your gun. Did you test that ammo for this gun?
Right.
Will this barrel blow up? All the things, even if it's P+, and it's built for that particular firearm, ask them, if I continue to shoot this plus P ammo, how long before I have to change some stuff on the wear and tear on my gun,
Right.
before I have to change it? That's a valid question.
Right.
That's like putting regular gas in a Bugatti. There's a reason why they tell you don't put diesel and this and that and third. They tell you what to put in the manufacturer.
Yes,
Same
they
thing
do.
with these firearms.
Yes, they do.
Call them up, email them.
Talk to them. Yeah,
they
they'll
will
let
tell
you know.
you. Yeah, they will tell you what you need to know.
They will know.
So they don't want you flying blind, tearing up their firearms and blaming them for it. So
Exactly.
go ahead.
Real good point, because you brought that up. Plus P. All this home defense, the HST, everything that's out on the market right now that's getting the same footprint as a 45 is plus P.
Yeah.
So the Hornet A's, the SIGs, this right here, the federal stuff, it's all running plus P. The good thing about it is the consumers don't really have to worry about checking their barrel that much, in a sense, as opposed like 10, 12 years ago, where they used to make two different barrels. A lot of people don't know that. They had a civilian barrel and they had a military law enforcement barrel. Military law enforcement would be able to run plus P rounds.
Yeah.
In the civilian market, you could, and it's not like you can't, you can, but the only bad thing about it is, remember, higher tolerances, higher pressures. This is putting higher pressures in a lower tolerance barrel for the civilians, and that's the issue. It might not blow up right off the bat, but every time those pressures are hitting, it's creating fissures inside of your chamber, your barrel. And what happens? Ultimately, the bad thing about it is we're going to have catastrophic failure. Yes, the barrel will fail.
And also, you got to think about this. You're firing this ammunition. Are you firing in a 4.5-inch barrel, a 3-inch barrel, a 2-inch barrel? That has a lot
more to do with it.
when it comes to recoil on that firearm. So, things to think about. It's a lot of food for thought we're talking about just on this subject. Now, think about this. You see each one of them, they look like they're different colors, but they're actually different metals on the casing.
Even casing, aluminum casings.
Yeah.
Or-
So will my gun extract this out? Will it get hung up? Will it create a jam? Will it create a double feed? You know, like you need to know these things.
Or even this with the aluminum one.
Yeah.
This is an aluminum casing right here.
Yeah.
But the bad thing about this is, depending on how much you actually sit there and extract and rack, so that's when you're clearing your gun, making sure that this doesn't get messed up, especially on aluminum casing.
And that's why ammo selection, checking the ammo, making sure everything's on point is so important. Just like you do anything maintenance and anything else, everything has to be maintenance. How long do you keep ammo? Some people don't even ask that question. Some people walk around with the same ammo on their gun for 10 years. Think about that. So,
Food for thought.
if I'm only shooting practice ammo, but I'm carrying P+ ammo, it's going to give you a whole different attitude when it comes to firing that gun. That gun's going to react differently. Because that's two different, one is lightweight,
For practice.
practice shooting, plinker type ammo, and one is for self-defense.
For you to be able to actually defend yourself and put kinetic energy and transfer that kinetic energy from this projectile to that body that you're trying to stop.
Yes.
So that's really what you have to keep in mind, what you have to understand. And if you're running any type of plus P rounds, yes, check your rounds, check your ammo, make sure everything is in line with what it needs to do, because remember, whose life's on the line? Yours.
Yours.
Remember that. So,
And that's the key. That's what I said. This is one subject we talk about all the time. A lot of people come up with cases of ammo and they just load it up and start shooting, and all of a sudden problems start happening, and like, hey, what's going on? this is when that discussion happens. After you done already spent your money on a case of ammo that you
Right.
can't even shoot. Okay, so before you go out there and spend this money on this different ammo, your hard-earned cash, okay, make sure you call the manufacturer. Make sure you have that conversation with them. I got this kind of firearm. I want to put this kind of ammo.
Run.
Yeah.
All that stuff.
Some guns are very finicky. They only take like 2, 3, different kinds of ammo.
Yeah.
Some guns eat all ammo.
It doesn't matter. And even
So-
that, in our training session when we went to the range, we're running Glocks,
Mm-hmm.
and we were having issues with that ammo.
And Glock eats pretty much everything out there.
It doesn't matter. It'll spit it out. But it was having a hard time swallowing that one. It really was.
And that's how I knew. I'm like, oh, okay, it's not the gun. I actually gave a whole magazine to another guy. He shot a totally different gun, and he did the same thing. I said, okay, it's the ammo.
Mhm.
It was the ammo. And so when you go out there and spend your hard-earned money on ammo, you want to be able to shoot. You don't want to have tap racking every 4 or 5 rounds. Okay.
Right.
So once again, I'm Andre Glenn,
I'm Richard F. Moreno.
and we hope that you gave you some quality information today about ammo selection, because
Definitely.
we get this talk all the time, and I don't want you to spend $500-600 on 1,000 rounds of some ammo somewhere, and it
And it
won't
doesn't
even
matter.
feed your gun. Okay, your life's on the line.
Exactly. Especially if it's your life.
Okay,
Right.
So this is what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
Your life or somebody else's life.
Right.
You don't want to tell somebody you couldn't save their life because your gun had a jam. That's not the conversation you want to have,
No.
especially for one of your loved ones.
Right.
Okay, so we're gonna say peace, love, and happiness, and see you at the next video.
Definitely. Have a good one.
Have a good day.
Thanks.